Okay, we're live. All right, Thomas, do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah. So I don't have much to report. I keep working on my side projects apart from Craft Academy stuff, and I'm working on this Google Analytics aggregator that I had some help with from Sam, just manually testing if it works with Slack notifications. So I think we published something in the website one channel. I don't know if that's the fact. But yeah, well, he says it does. So that's good. It's cool. Other than that, I've been just yesterday I was multitasking regarding to your blog post, Sam. I was working on 3 apps simultaneously. Well, 4 apps simultaneously, actually. 3 Rails applications and 1 Ionic app. And I was like, so my head was so mushy at 11:30 last night. So I fell asleep really well. So that's good. Yeah, so that's my report. No blockers. I'm just checking in with you guys, basically.
All right, great. Thanks, Thomas. Sam, how about yourself?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. So yesterday, made some progress actually on getting a test framework in the async Slack bot, and that, although I think I may be tempted to, we use this thing called bot mock, but I'm not sure that it's actually buying us much of it. Just using our own mocking things, and but anyway, good to get some tests in there. They got some improvements coming through for the Slack bot, which is also being used by people for stuff and things, so it's getting into production. Immediately after that, I spent now my Heroku, it's a new month, so my Heroku credits reset, so I was able to actually start running Project Scope, and we've got a nice, if you check out AV Community Talk, we've got a nice view, this is Project Scope Develop, of a lot of the current, what are they called, projects that in AV. Actually, I wonder if I can just pull it up quickly here. In principle, people can access it directly. It gives, is this thing that Michael and I were working on over the summer, and now some, what are they called? Students at Berkeley are working on. So you can kind of see it gives like it pulls out the code climate metric, the GitHub metric, which is based here on like number of pull requests opened on and like how many of them had comments on them. It also pulls out this kind of graphic that shows you who's talking in which channels. So you can see, like, for example, Async Voter, if I mouse over there, it's got me and Aresh are the 2 people mainly talking in there. And, you know, we saw the distribution. This is kind of like a idea of how one-sided the conversation is over time. And you can sort of see there's lots of different things here and so on. So this is I mean, like, this looks a bit rough. If once I merge in some more pull requests, it's going to look better. This is going to be, you know, a sort of microservice for tracking projects and so on. And I was quite pleased to get this all working. And we've got, you know, Redeemify and Osra and SHF and everything in there. I think going forward, you know, as the number of active projects is increasing, we kind of want to be able to reflecting back, you know, and seeing how those projects going, which are the ones in trouble, you know, highlighting the ones that have good activity and so on. And so like Redeemify's got a nice little distribution there of different people talking, Matt, Lindsay, and who's that one there? Sometimes the names don't always come up, but there we go. Yeah, so very pleased to get that done. Couple of new things this morning, suggestion from Armando that we could be offering a kind of non-profit support plan. He's got various non-profits who, you know, want to kind of like have the things maintained, like his class. You know, he has like 50 student teams there's 100 a year, doing work for charities, and then the students all kind of like nip off, and they're not really interested in maintaining the apps. And so he's proposing this idea of creating some tiers, like independently from premiums, like some monthly subscription plans for targeted at nonprofits. So, and that's a good idea. I created a landing page. We'll see if we can get that off the ground. And then also Agile Ventures for Christmas. I've got one Agile Ventures premium member who wants to buy Agile Venture premium subscriptions for his coworkers as Christmas presents, and he wants to do it with PayPal, of course. So I totally want to enable him to do that. And yeah, so I think today we'll be working on getting that with PayPal. We have got basic PayPal payment sorted out, but we haven't got it sorted out for the sponsorship process. So that's probably what we'll be working on during the rest of the day. And that's me.
Oh, that's enough. Asking. My God, I don't know how you do it. That's great. Thanks for that. So, Paul, how are things down Down under. Oh boy, Paul, you've got the audio problem again.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that. Can we work out like? Yeah, no, it's. I guess he's going to drop out and come in. Yeah, we'll do Matthew maybe.
I think he had a reboot last time or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, you want to go ahead while we're waiting?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just no blockers. It's status updates. Everything's going real good. Let's see. Thomas, Sam and I found a good solution to that GitHub problem yesterday. That instead of getting the last commit, we're just getting the last update of the repo. It's a different field, so
That's great.
we got that fixed. There's a PR for that, and I've actually got 2 PRs in website 1. One of them's been there for about a week or so. So if somebody can look at those, that'll be great. Redeemify is going very well. We got all back on track to work on the API, and Alex has volunteered to take over the next step of that, which is great because I was thinking somebody else besides myself would do it. And we're got a good discussion about that going on, how it's going to work from AV to call the API from the Agile Ventures website. So hopefully at some point you'll have that new feature. And I was going to make a small suggestion about Slack. Is there any way to mark off premium members? Because I think that would really entice people to want to be premium members.
Oh, you mean if they had like a little badge on them in Slack that like kind of just, right, I see what you mean.
And
that's a great feature request.
That too, I want to get good service. And
yeah, you want to make sure that if you're asking a question in yeah, that's great. I'm going to add that to Agile Ventures issues here. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. I can add in. Do you want me to add an issue somewhere?
Or I've just started. It's done.
That's it. Going good. Thanks.
Thanks, Matt. It seems like Redeemify's got a lot more energy now. We have a little more people working with you rather than being a
That's great.
Solo guy. Good to see that. Paul, coming back to you. Let's see if your audio works now.
Yeah. Is that any better?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I've been working on that issue, the refactoring of the download resume. I think I've got it pretty well licked into shape now. Ran the aspects okay. Well, merged with the development branch. Rerun the aspects okay, just rerunning the Cucumber specs now, Cucumber features. And once I get through all of those, I guess I'll submit a pull request.
Did you say you merged your feature branch with your local development branch? And that's where you're running your tests?
That's right, yeah. Or the development branch from upstream.
Yeah, okay. Generally, we deliver PRs against feature branches, not your local
Yeah,
development.
that's what I've done. Maybe I
Okay.
haven't described it correctly, but I followed the workflow
Oh,
instructions.
perfect. Okay. You're good then. Yeah, I just misinterpreted what you said. Great. Good progress, Paul. So we don't need to connect up after this to go over anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know if you're looking for another story, or I think you're doing this for your MOOC homework, right? So you should be good.
Yeah.
But let me know if you want to think another story, or go ahead and just take it, actually.
Yeah, I'll complete it, this one first, and then come back to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks for helping out in MedPlus.
No problem.
Good. Okay, so Michael, do you want to give an update? So you joined?
I was just talking with Sam this morning, and probably gonna.
Hey,
That's
Oh,
about it.
sorry, Michael. It looks like you got interrupted a bit.
There was
Yeah,
kind of like an extra sound while you were talking, Michael, and
I think it was something from Thomas's house.
right, and he's muted himself now. So
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, we'll come back if Thomas comes back online to talk about that. For myself, what did I do? Didn't have a lot of time yesterday, but I did review PRs both in MetPlus, and I've been reviewing some PRs in the SHF project, helping out there. I might get more involved But in any case, I'm starting to learn the domain model there and what they're doing, which is interesting. I do see that, Sam, you've arranged, or Sage at the Wiki EDU project has agreed to do an overview, I think on Tuesday.
Yeah, next week. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be great for a half hour. So looking forward to that. That looks like he's got thousands of users, actually. So that's exciting. That's
Wow,
interesting
cool
to see how
stuff.
this will work. Also, just so you know, I changed the so-called Pacific Rim/US Scrum
Oh yeah.
to occur at 2 o'clock in the afternoon my time, as opposed
Okay.
to 5 in my time, because it was just Vijay and myself typically. We
Okay.
never got, we call it Pacific Rim, but we never got anybody from Pacific Rim
Yeah.
to show up. So maybe we'll get, and now we're just calling it US. So we'll
Right.
get some more showing up.
Can I give you some? I think that's it. Moving them around is great. Just maybe can I give you some feedback on the name change?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I guess one of the reasons we used to have the Eurasia and Atlantic Scrum. One of the reasons we moved away from that was, there's like Eurasia. Obviously, there's Africa's all in the same time zone, and there was this sort of like, I guess like, saying it's US friendly. Actually, in that time zone, it's also like Brazil friendly as well, and so on. So I wonder. I mean, I'm not necessarily everybody loves the way that I'm using names of the people of the original Agile Manifesto to like, but so the other scrums that we've got at the moment.
Could I interrupt you?
You have already, so why not carry on?
Why don't you call it the America's Christopher Columbus Scrum?
You could do that. You could do that.
I would advise against that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Or if you wanted to fit it in with the theme of the other scrums, we currently have the Martin Fowler, the Kent Beck, and the Bob Martin scrum. You could take another famous member of the Agile Manifesto and call them after that. Anyway, it's something to consider.
Well, I like the idea of putting the Americas in the title, actually. So, we do call in South America, Central America, etc. And you're right.
Sure.
Shouldn't just call it U.S.
There's Dave Thomas is, of course, you could call it the Dave Thomas America's Scrum.
Yeah, that might work. Okay.
He's the author of the Pragmatic Programmers. One of the luminaries of the whole Agile. Anyway, we'll leave it up to you. It's your Scrum.
Well, he was part of the original Agile Web development with Rails authors too.
That's right. That's right.
A lot of people should be aware of him.
Yeah, and he's done a new kind of. He was on Ruby Rogues recently, and he's got a new Scrum thing that he's doing, like an extension of Agile, and like what we learned in the last 15 years. Dave Thomas. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm hoping we can eventually get. I'm partly doing it because I want to get these people in these Scrums and joining us on a daily basis, but we'll see if that ever happens.
That would be cool. I hope we don't run into the problem where somebody sees that and says, "Oh, this must be something involving a guy called Dave Thomas."
I think that would certainly cause confusion at the beginning. It may. So feel free to completely go a different way, because this is just my conceit, really.
Well, even Michael from the Makers Academy, or Craft Academy, I was talking to him and Laura when I first introduced to those guys. We said, "What's this with these names? Who the heck is what's this Martin Fowler?"
But then I said, is that a bug or is it a feature? Because these people
that bug comes back to me, because that's my fault for them not knowing who Martin Fowler.
Yeah, but I think it's always right that.
No, I didn't.
They just
mean it that way.
It's not that they should necessarily learn the names in the boot camp, but having at least graduated from the boot camp, that's part of the ongoing education, that they really need to become familiar with these names, don't they?
Well, yeah, on the other hand, they've got to learn a mountain of stuff in 3 months, and then they also have to learn some cultural context for all of this as well. It's just may be just too much. The tipping point is reached, at some point.
Oh well, I mean, the boot camps themselves are kind of the tipping point. Hopefully, what we provide with Agile Ventures is like a slower, ongoing thing where they can gradually be, immersed in the sort of a lower pressure culture. Although SHF project seems to be going like, but anyway, we'll see. Some people
perhaps that's a bit of a problem with that project as well.
Some people just love intense, don't they? But anyway, I'm going to be talking to Susanna and Ashley and so on. Yeah, we'll. I think at the same time, I think what I really love is what we're seeing, particularly with Osra getting restarting, is we're seeing all these different, the different projects have the different cultures and they have their own speeds, and we will provide advice and support, but ultimately, those projects will run their way and evolve their own culture. And the Agile thing really is all about trying to encourage them to reflect and adjust their process. And, sometimes the projects are not going to go the ways that we would have them go. But that's, it's not a school. right? We're not going to say
Yeah.
you do it or
Yeah.
that you get expelled. This is all of these projects are for learning, for people to sort of like work without, with only a little bit of safety rope. Anyway, I'll stop talking.
No, that's good. You mentioned you're going to talk to the SHF people.
Probably individually. I mean, just
Yeah.
partly also one of the things that came up from doing this analysis of them is that their code climate score is really low, and just I want to also it's sort of the way I want to make sure that they are, when they're in trouble, that they're asking for help through the right channels that will get them the best set of support. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I've asked Susanna when she's going to have another pair programming or project review session, and she didn't have anything planned yet. I haven't talked to actually those people directly, and I do want to do that. I jumped in because Susanna was saying she had a deliverable to her client as of yesterday, and it was approaching 10 p.m. her time. She had hit it by midnight. So yeah, so I went in there and helped her out a little bit, but it is a little helter-skelter right now. So hopefully it settles down and gets more structured. And that's what I'd like to achieve as well on that project if I continue working on it. But there's a lot of energy and enthusiasm, which is really, really
Right,
great.
awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have that. Okay, so I guess we went a little bit over, but that's okay. We kind of went beyond Scrum topics, so that's good. So that's the end of Scrum. So that's all I've got. I don't have to connect with anybody right now. I've got some other things I need to work on, but I don't know if anybody needs to connect at this point.
Well, I'm thinking of starting a pairing session on website 1 in about 10 minutes. I don't know, Michael might be free. Matt, I guess maybe you'll be focused on Redeemify. Matt, I was going to say about those. I mean, those open pull requests. Raul has pinged me and said, I should do some merging because he's pretty busy. I can do that. There are some open comments in at least one of those from me that I think probably need responding to before I can start merging. So let's no worries.
Let me do.
We'll cycle around on that. But yeah, I don't know. Anybody else? Paul, are you looking for a pairing session, or you're all good?
No, not at the moment, Sam.
All right, no worries. Okay, well, we'll open a pairing on website 1 in 10 minutes and see you all real soon.
Okay, bye for now.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye now.
Can you stick around for a sec, Sam?
I can. Are you going to